Hey everybody, this is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. I'm GB. I look a little stunned because usually it tells me that it's recording. It didn't say anything. Um, so yeah, we're this is Sports Counterpoints podcast. I'm GB, cousin Coop, brother B over here. What's happening, guys?
Once again, we're back.
Man, back at it. It's April the 10th, 2023. So yeah, a little early jump because I'm off on other locations for a work trip coming up. So thanks guys for jumping on and getting the show in a little bit early. I appreciate it. So yeah, we're talking about the NBA playoffs today. We got playing games starting tomorrow. First rounds going before we'll meet again. Any kind of little NFL, chit chat y'all want to talk about? Definitely mention OBJ. See what that means, and then a little bit of talk about the Masters too, as the tournament ends. And it was actually, there's usually pretty good tournaments, but definitely had a share of intrigue. So yeah, let's start with the NBA, man. So we got the play-in tournament tomorrow. You got the Hawks and the Heat and the Lakers and the Timberwolves. Hawks Heat, man. What y'all thinking?
Hawks Heat, Brian, go ahead. Break it down.
Nah, you go first on that one. I'll go first in the next one.
I don't have much to say. Hawks and Heat. I'm just going to take the Heat just due to playoff experience and Jimmy Butler. That's pretty much all I'm going with. I haven't watched much Hawks basketball. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Since
I
probably
didn't even know.
Dominique was there.
Yeah. I didn't. I think Trae Young is still on the team. I know he got help. He had a hand in having the coach. I think Nate McMillan fired, but
Jonte
Now they're
Murray
about to trade him.
ball too.
what happened?
Who?
The ownership said that they are open to open to a trade of Trey this offseason.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh wow.
So the way I see it,
Jonte Murray ball. So
yeah, the way I see it is I root for the Heat because one, Jimmy in the playoffs has always been money.
Mhm.
And two, I do not like Trey. I don't think he's ready for prime time. I think his style doesn't work. The same as John Morant's doesn't work in the playoffs. So yeah, I'll absolutely take the Heat on that one.
Yeah, I think the Heat are a 7 seed, right? I think they're a 7 seed, maybe 8. So
Well, they would be the 7 seed if they win.
if they win, okay.
okay, got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
say. All right.
It's a play-in tournament at this point in time. Their seeds are, irrelevant, but
Yeah.
they're projected as the 7th seed.
Let me see.
Same goes for the Lakers and Timberwolves. Look, the Lakers were given a gift when Rudy Gobert decided to act an ass and
What did he do?
He threw a punch at his own teammate. So they were in a puddle. They were in a huddle, and he was having a conversation of some sort. The teammate said, who I guess has been known to push buttons or have an aggressive leadership style, made a comment, and Gobert, took a swing at him, like leaned in on him, and then kind of gave him a jab to the face. Then they got broken up. They immediately kicked Gobert out of the game and sent him home. And then today they announced that he didn't travel or won't travel to
not
LA
playing this game.
And won't play in the game. So, a game that was already like, if they were going to have any chance, it's going to be by stopping Anthony Davis. And Cat's not the better defensive player out of the two of them. That's Gobert. And so, I expect them to use Anthony Davis well. I don't know if we want to talk about a little bit about the Lakers prospects as a whole right now. Or we want to wait until we talk about the first round.
Yeah, we're transitioning to the either way. We're transitioning to
yeah,
Lakers.
I think the Lakers.
Anyway.
I don't know about you, Coop. What you got for tomorrow?
No, I'm with you. I got the Lakers. I mean, Lakers have pretty much been beating bad teams recently, and Minnesota's kind of unraveling and falling apart. So I definitely expect the Lakers to beat them and maintain the 7th seed in the West to play the Grizzlies.
You gotta play. Don't you gotta win 2 games?
I think they only have to win one.
The winner of tomorrow's game only has to win one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're the 7th or the 8th seed, you have to win one of 2, and if you're the 9th or the 10th seed, you have to win 2.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So those two teams play, and whoever wins, which I guess we'll talk about next, but those two teams play. They play the loser of by example, the Lakers and in Minnesota.
Yeah, so Pelicans and Thunder will play. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. So then,
So next is the next set of games, which are on Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday you got the Bulls and Raptors to start. Who y'all got?
The Bulls and the Raptors. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna take the Raptors just cause they seem to always
Yeah.
make the playoffs, don't they? So no matter who's on the team, no matter who's the coach, no matter who's the GM, they seem to always make it. The Bulls, I think I had them winning less than 40. I think I won a bet. They won less than 42 games. I gotta check that. But
They did, yeah.
yeah, they won 40 and 42. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the Raptors just cause I don't watch Bulls or Raptors
I
basketball, but the
know.
Raptors seem to always be in it. So I'm just gonna take it. I'm just taking them. I know that's bad, but that's why I'm taking them. B.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would take the Raptors. I just think the Bulls are too disjointed this season. We're never going to get anything together. Now, look, in a game where 9th, 10th seed, where it's a one-game split between the two, anyone could possibly win. But I'm actually going to go a step further and say that I think Toronto will be the A seed, not Atlanta, when playoff times come, the actual playoffs come on the weekend. So I'm going to say that Toronto are going to win the next two and get into playoffs. Miami's going to beat Atlanta to force the Atlanta Hawks versus Toronto game, and Toronto will win that game as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the same thing. I'm gonna take Toronto to secure that 8th spot as well, and to get blown out by the Bucks. Yep,
Okay.
I'm with you.
And then you got the Thunder and the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me the Pelicans.
yeah.
Both these teams got some ballers on them though.
Yeah. This
Give
is
me
gonna
the
be hard.
Pelicans, and I'll go a step further. I'll take the Pelicans to beat the Timberwolves in the next game as well. They have the same record. They don't have a Rudy Gobert problem. The team chemistry in Minnesota has been rocky for a while. And in a one game, at least at home, you should be able to the game Minnesota and Pelicans to be at home. But I think the Pelicans can find a way to win that game.
Oh, this is tough. I don't want to take OKC. If they're on the road, if they were at home, it'd be different. I'm going to take the Pelicans too. I think the Pelicans are at home. Yeah, they are at home, and they're about 5.5 spread. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Pelicans because they're the home team. That's the only reason I'm gonna take them. And I think because Minnesota is unraveling, I would love to take New Orleans, but I think Minnesota might pull it together to make that last playoff spot. So I think they'll beat New Orleans and get that 8th seed.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it. Minnesota's been falling apart since they traded Russell, and
they haven't fallen apart.
So yeah, I don't see how they turn around.
Is D'Angelo Russell back playing?
He is. He's supposed to play.
All right, that's good.
And they are 8-1 with those three in the lineup. AD, LeBron. They were 8-0, but one of the game that they all officially started, but none of them finished, ended up being a loss. So that's where the 8-1 comes in again. But when they play seriously. Anyways, when we talk about the Lakers, I'll talk more about that.
Well, we can just talk about the Lakers now.
Yes. So you got
get into the playoffs, the actual playoffs, right?
All right. So if we're gonna do the first round, you got the Nuggets playing whoever becomes the 8th seed in the West.
It doesn't matter which team it's going to be. I'm taking the Nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be.
Doesn't matter if it's the Timberwolves. Doesn't matter if it's.
I think it could be us, right?
The Pelicans.
No, it can't be us.
It could be us, but we're going to beat Minnesota.
We'd have to lose. We'd have to lose tomorrow.
Right.
To be us.
Okay, got it. So,
but anyways, Denver versus. So I'll go presumptive, right? I have the Pelicans in the 8th spot. Denver versus the Pelicans. I'll take Denver in 5. So.
Yeah, that Denver is just a little bit too deep. I would definitely take them. Now the Grizzlies and the Lakers.
Well, I don't know if it's depth, but Jamal Murray looks like he's back. And the last time we saw him in a playoff game, that guy was lightning in a bottle. That was also the bubble series.
Yeah, he was hooping.
Yeah, when I look at the Pelicans roster and I look at the Nuggets roster, to me it's not even close. It's straight. They just have more ballers on the Nuggets than they do on the Pelicans to keep up.
Bunch of former Lakers on the Pelicans, man. We out here.
Yeah. So I'll take them. Now the next series though will be the Grizzlies against the Lakers, and this is not really homeristic, but I really would take the Lakers. I think they can win a first round playoff series. And playing the Grizzlies, I think they can beat them. I really do.
It's actually one of the better matchups you could get, it feels like.
Right. Right, for the Lakers, exactly. So you get the veterans, you get the young guys, you get the pop-offs, the guys into the wannabe Draymond, the wannabe gangsters. You get this team that's kind of feeling themselves, and they're playing against, a bunch of veterans and guys trying to prove themselves. So I would definitely take the Lakers in 6 to beat the Grizzlies. That's not really homeristic. I really believe the Lakers can beat the Grizzlies in 6. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I think it's important to realize a couple of things. The Lakers have this NBA second best record since the All-Star break. That's kind of not being talked about. They're 8-0 real games played with their new big three. They just simply aren't losing. AD in big games is playing outstanding. And they actually had their strength of record was middle of the pack since the All-Star game, not top, not lower bottom. So they've won some serious games. On the flip side, John Moran, I'll never root for him. I don't think his game translates. He plays AAU basketball, which is fine, and you can get a bunch of wins in the regular season. But when it gets to the playoff time, someone's going to chin check you. That's going to be a big difference. Add that to, I think, probably one of the more important losses of personnel in the playoffs. Steven Adams isn't going to play for the rest of the season due to his injury. They need a big guy who can check check AD. And Steven Adams is as big as they come. I mean, that guy is a mountain of a human being, as strong as as can be, and he does not get moved out of the middle. He's exactly the kind of guy that could frustrate someone like AD and push AD to the outside and make AD a jump shooter. And when AD is a jump shooter, they're vulnerable. So, I think the Lakers drew the perfect matchup with the perfect set of circumstances. And I think that gives them a really good opportunity to at least get out of the first round. And I think they're just fortunate that the way this is all kind of worked out. Because the next they get Sac or Golden State, right? So that would be a nice second round matchup for them. As far as the bracket working out in their favor, going in as the 7th against the 2 and not being on the opposite side of Denver and Phoenix, who are now the prohibitive favorites from the West, more so than Memphis or Sacramento. It's Phoenix that people think are going to make the finals. They're also the biggest favorite now from the West.
Yeah, I can see that.
As they are undefeated with KD in their lineup. But anyways, I take the Lakers for sure on that one.
Yep. And then the Kings and Warriors, this one's easy for me. Congratulations. This is the matchup I wanted to see. I talked about 2 weeks ago because, like I said, the Kings play absolutely zero defense. So you got the young guys who play zero defense but score a ton of points, and you got the wily championship veterans that just know how to work officials, know how to get calls, and has a championship coach. So I think by that explanation, I think you guys know who I'm going with in this series. I'm taking the 6th seeded Lakers, who are minus 300 betting favorite right now.
Or Golden State, whichever one.
Yeah.
You said Lakers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn, I'm optimistic. Yeah,
I like it though.
I'm taking the Warriors, who are minus 300, the betting favorites, even though they're the lower seeded team against the Sacramento Kings. No disrespect to the Kings. Great season, but in the playoffs, games are more physical, not gonna get a lot of calls. And you got guys in the Warriors that actually not know how to win playoff games, but know how to win championships. They know how to work officials and win these games. I got the Warriors in 6. I think the Warriors will win a road game and close it out in 6, but the Kings will get a couple wins in there. How about you, Brian?
First time you weren't disrespectful. If that wasn't disrespectful,
I'm gonna rewind real quickly and say that the other thing that's that people are forgetting about the Lakers is that they have the second best defense since the trade, which was about the same place that they were before they went into the bubble defensively, where they were absolutely dominant. So the Lakers even better. Now on the Sacramento Golden State, the reason people aren't picking Golden State is because they haven't won a game. They have an all-time worst record for no one wins playoff when you can't win a road game, especially when you're not the top seed. Now, that being said, I figure that they can find one way to win one of those games. It's all they really need to do, and they need to win it at home, which they're very good at. They have the second best or third best home record in the NBA and the second worst road record. I'm going to give the doubt, but that's not a good team. It can get hot, but if you can't for a whole season's worth of work, it's not a coincidence at this point in time that they couldn't win on the road at all. 11 wins in an 80-game season on the road. That is not a good team. I absolutely hope that they are the team that the Lakers get to play in the next round.
Is Wiggy coming back?
He'll be so
Wiggins.
he's been on the bench the last couple games. They said he's coming back soon. They have not announced that he'll be back in the playoffs, but everything suggests that he's going to be back.
Okay.
But that being said, the Lakers don't have anybody on their team who talks trash like that. If they were going up against Memphis and Dylan Brooks,
Oh no.
got a shot at Wiggins, because your point last week.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Lakers have anybody who can take someone's heart like that.
No, I'm not. I'm just wondering. As far as them losing all those road games, I think Wiggins helps to win some of those. They also had some chemistry issues at the beginning of the season when Draymond did the Gobert thing. So I mean, you could say it doesn't matter, but there's no way. You don't forget that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I still don't think that's a championship team, the Warriors, but it's reminding me.
No, they're not a championship team. But when your future guy gets decked by your heart of your team, there's just no way you can recover from that, and they've proven it. I mean, we said at the beginning of the season that's going to be a problem. You know what happens when you go on the road? You got to hang out with your teammates.
Exactly right.
It's not a coincidence that they're losing when they can go and do their own thing and be on their own. And when they got to hang out with each other and chill on a plane and talk to each other, they can't win games. The chemistry goes away.
Yeah,
I got Go ahead.
No, I was just saying Warrior fans thought it would act like it was just no big deal. That's going to juice our team. Jordan Poole and Draymond Green are not similar personalities. It was very big deal. They're not cut from the same cloth. So it was a very big deal. And like Brian said, it showed on the road because you have to hang out with your teammates on the road. And it just didn't work out too well.
I'm gonna step out. This is what I'm saying, man. I got to go with the Kings, man, because of the Sacktown love, and they're playing good ball.
I don't think it's a bad pick, man.
There's a reason they're there, and I think this is their championship. So, it'd be great to win a bunch of series and go deep in the playoffs, but this right here is their championship, in all honesty. So
I think Sacramento has a better chance of beating the Lakers in the next round than Golden State does.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think they could smoke the Lakers. Yeah,
and they have a puncher's chance. Now, look, the bracket worked out for them too because young teams that aren't established typically get beat by Grizzly veteran teams, but there's none on this side of the bracket. Right? You got Memphis, who's still trying to figure it out. You got Golden State, which is still trying to figure it out this year. And you have the Lakers, which are a relatively new team, although they have, AD and LeBron, who are historically great in playoff games. If Sacramento got lucky, they don't want to be playing Phoenix right now.
Two things I noticed before we get to the Clippers and the Suns. Two things I noticed. Number one, the way the Warriors beat down the Portland Trailblazers, they never would have beat a team like that before if they were a championship level team. They needed that to help boost their confidence and let them know to come into the playoffs with some momentum. That was one thing that shocked me because they killed Portland and they usually wouldn't do that. Number two, I noticed that the Dallas Mavericks, I didn't know this, they're the 11th team and didn't even have a chance. They're not even in the playoffs and they got Kyrie Irving. And I know people are going to say, well, you got Kyrie Irving, what do you expect happens? But I think that's more on Luka because it seems like no matter if it's Porzingis, Jalen Brunson, if it's Kyrie, it really doesn't matter. I think Luka's the common denominator here, and probably why.
So was Kyrie. I mean, that's. Remember when we were talking about it when the trade happened? All I did was go.
No, we both did. No, we both said that. Like this ain't gonna work. Yeah, I mean, this ain't gonna work. But I don't blame all this on Kyrie. I blame more on Luka because it seems like he's not working with anybody. It doesn't really matter if it's
There's
Kyrie.
enough blame for both of them to suck.
Yeah. So.
What about the?
Yeah, 11th team. But but Suns and Clippers, I'll start, Glenn. Suns and Clippers, I just don't think the Clippers are a very good
surprise.
I don't think they're a very good perimeter defensive oriented team, perimeter defensive team, and they're going to need perimeter defenders to stop the Suns with Durant and Booker, and they just don't have the firepower. So I got the Suns winning this, Glenn, in 5 games. I just think this is a vastly superior team. Pete?
I disagree that they're a vastly superior team, but I think that the KD and Phoenix Suns are going to win easily. The reason for that is PG's out. So playoff Kawhi is really good, and PG in the playoffs also really good, but they don't have PG starting that series.
I didn't know that.
And so I don't see how they're going to be the team that's going to knock Phoenix off track when KD is undefeated. As long as he's healthy and upright, I don't know how LA could possibly do that. Not to mention, I mean, they're the Clippers. They're bound. They're destined to.
I was
to screw
waiting.
it up.
Okay, there we
Oh,
go. I
yeah.
was waiting for that.
Well, I mean, Glenn, you can't put too much stock in a team that I don't think has ever made the Western Conference Finals. They definitely haven't made an NBA Finals.
Oh no, but they'll celebrate those Pacific Division titles.
Oh yeah, all day.
Out,
oh yeah,
Here
and
go.
they got a better record than the Lakers, so yeah, they'll celebrate that too. They're the Clippers.
Yeah, they
Good
swept us.
job.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
It was getting real.
They
It was a
swept
little
us,
too
but
calm.
I think we'll see the second round and they won't. So
yeah, it was a little too calm for that. So that's what I was waiting for. Y'all was playing a little bit too commentatorish. I was waiting for the Clipper hate. East side.
I just
wait, what is
name one thing we said that wasn't a fact.
I was about to say, what does Coop say? It ain't hating if it's true.
If I'm saying, yeah, it can't be hating if it's true, it's facts. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, the truth messes up with your.
But no, I mean, look, if PG were healthy, I might have actually gone a different way. But he's played really well. Him
playoff
being
P?
hurt is a big deal.
You would have took playoff P over the Suns?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, all right.
They have 8 games with KD in there, man. Or like 11 games. Sorry, 11 games. But like that's not a lot of games for a team that's now the betting favorite to go to the Western Conference Finals.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta get to the West. It's not that terrible. So East side, you got the Bucks, and they're gonna play.
I'm gonna start with
Denver, Minnesota, or Denver and or do we already do that one?
We did that one
first.
Yeah, we did Denver first.
Yeah, so we'll move to the Bucks. So Glenn, it doesn't really matter. It's all a loss for whoever's playing the Bucks.
I agree.
And most likely, I'm gonna take a sweep. I'm gonna take a sweep over the Raptors. It'll be sweep over the Bulls or the sweep over the Hawks. I think me and Brian said we both think it's going to be the Raptors, so I think it's going to be a sweep. So easy first round victory for the Bucks. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, this is the equivalent to the play-in game for NCAA tournament for that 16 seed. You know, they don't have a snowball's chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Milwaukee will sweep that one.
Easy. Boston against whoever they're going to play.
The Heat. Go ahead, B. Start this one.
I'll take Boston, but I think this is going to be 6 games. Again, Jimmy just does something different in the playoffs, but he's just not enough to get past a really talented Boston team, in my opinion. But that's no knock on the Heat. They are a really, really tough out. It's just not their year.
Yeah, I agree. I just think the Celtics are just a deeper team. He always seems to never have just enough help for Jimmy. I'm gonna make this one go. I was gonna say 7, but I think I agree. I think this will go 6. I just don't think it's that good of a Heat team to take it to 7. So I'll take Celtics in 6, but it'll be hard fought 6.
Okay, and then you got
the 76ers and Nets. Hey, the Nets are a good story. They made it this far. Without all those guys, they wasted their time signing. But 76ers just has a little bit too much, and I'm just gonna take the 76ers.
I really wish I could say that the 76ers are going to lose. I do not like that team. But yeah, Brooklyn, they're a great story in team chemistry, as you were alluding to a moment ago. It's cool that they made it this far. I don't think that they can beat any of the better teams in a long series. I'll take Philly.
All right, and who you like out of the Cavaliers and the Knicks?
Yeah, people are picking this to be the playoff series of the first round.
I think I would agree with that if not for Sacramento Golden State, which I think is more intriguing to us. But I think that the most interesting matchup is going to be Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and the other young what's his name, Darius Garland. These are some really young, super talented, possibly future superstars in the NBA. Going up against a strong team led by Julius Randle in the New York Knicks. I will take Cleveland. That is not, again, a knock on New York. I think this is a 6 or 7 game series. I think it'll be fun to watch, but I just think Cleveland's young talent. And Donovan Mitchell is one of the few guys. I mean, what did he have, a 71-point game this year?
Yep.
Something like that. Like, Donovan Mitchell is one of the few guys that I've always thought his game was strong. I don't like Ja, I don't like Trey, I don't like Luka. Always like Donovan Mitchell, and I think he's going to be able to get it done there.
Yeah, with Joe, I don't think Julius Randle's even playing this series, but whether he was playing or not, I'm still taking the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games. I
He's
don't think
supposed to come back at some point if they get it long enough, but I don't know that.
yeah, I don't think he's much of a difference maker in this series. I just think Cleveland's just a better team. They just got more talent. And you just mentioned the three main ballers, and I'm really looking forward to watch play
Yeah.
in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm taking Cleveland, and I'm taking them in 5 games to beat the Knicks.
Yeah, I'd take him in 6, but same results.
Okay.
Well, there's the first round. We'll see what happens. It starts before we get back together, but
Yeah.
And Glenn, anything you want to add to any surprise picks? Are you
do you
picking
like the
somebody to upset
Lakers
the
this year?
Bucks?
You didn't pick the Lakers over Memphis.
I don't go against my team. So yeah, I definitely got the Lakers. I definitely think we could beat Memphis. A little bit too much turmoil. Kings and Warriors. I think that's another good matchup.
You picked the Kings, right? You took the Kings.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
he wants the
Kings
Kings.
will win. I mean,
All right.
I think they're gonna go crazy because this is the first time they've been playoff 16 years. This is their Super Bowl, right? Like we've all seen.
Oh, if they get to the conference finals by beating Golden State and the Lakers, by example, like
Oh,
the
bro,
all
that's a
LA
championship.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would agree,
it's a
Glenn, if
championship.
it wasn't a 7 game series, if it was just one game in Sacramento, but it's a 7 game series. I just don't think they could sustain that long. But ordinarily, though, I would agree with you.
If they
If it
can,
was one game.
they got to win one game on the road, basically, right? It's you have a chance. So we'll see. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I can't go against the crib on that. I used to
Mhm.
work for the Kings too, and
I'm
I
sorry
rep the
about that.
Kings. I rep the Kings when they're not playing the Lakers. You know what I mean? But
You
yeah,
used
I
to work
want
for
to
the
see my
Kings?
team do it. Yeah,
Oh,
sold tickets.
Sold
I'm sorry about
tickets.
that. I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Oh no, that's
All
you
right.
talk about mouthpiece. I was selling tickets during them our test year. Shout out to Ron and Meta,
Man.
but that wasn't an easy sell. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And then,
yeah. So
what
I
about the
want to see
East?
I want to see what the Suns do. I'm curious about them on the East side.
Mhm.
I don't really care, man. I got to be honest. I
Okay.
think the Bucks are gonna go. Boston is always up there, but they somehow fade
Seem to
away.
fall. Yeah.
Um, it's same thing. The East has kind of been the same for the last few years. So Giannis is doing his thing. He's running it like he should be. So we'll see.
Okay.
So
All
it
right.
should be fun. I'll definitely start watching now though. So that'll be cool. So
All
yeah,
right.
sliding off the NBA to a little bit of NFL, and I think I just was saying if y'all had any stories that you were thinking about, for sure, Odell Beckham Jr. signs with the Ravens. We were talking about how he wasn't going to get that much money
He got
or
it.
from a
15
contending
million.
team was the thing that Brian said. And
Right.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I didn't say he wouldn't get the money. I just said that he has made an announcement. He does not care about winning football games,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because he was never going to go to, you know,
A Kansas City, Buffalo, San
Chiefs,
Francisco, whatever. Yeah.
Buffalo at
For,
that price
for
tag.
15 million. Yeah. Or even
he
to Minnesota. Yeah.
he likes Lamar. He's posted many things about liking Lamar. So I'm curious to see if this is also um, a play by the Ravens, right?
Well,
To get him to
We
sign.
got your
well,
receiver,
yeah. I don't think they get Odell without Odell getting some assurance that Lamar's going
Yep.
to be back. But here's the thing about it. I mean, do we do this? People do this every year. I never understood why fans hyperventilate over why receivers changing teams. Because my question is, who's the quarterback? Who's throwing to them? Is he going to have the same quarterback he had when he compiled all them stats before? And to me, I don't even think this is about Odell. I think it's about Lamar. The
Yeah.
the issue with Baltimore is there's a relationship issue with Lamar Jackson, and it's a bad relationship right now. I don't think signing Odell helps any of that. Lamar thinks he's worth far more than the Ravens think he's worth, and the market thinks he's worth. And they have to come to some sort of financial agreement. Because I'm gonna tell you, just like I said last year, Denver was a boom or bust team. I could see them going 12-5 or 8-9 and missing the playoffs. With the Ravens, if OBJ is hurt in week 6 and Lamar has that huge contract and they're losing games, would anybody be surprised? I know I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think OBJ brings him over the hump, just like I didn't think last year or 2 years ago, DeAndre Hopkins takes Arizona over the hump. There are other issues on that team, and it mainly starts with Lamar and the Ravens, and they both have to realize that they both need each other because that offense and that team needs Lamar Jackson. And I don't think Baltimore can just go get a Justin Fields and that offense is going to perform the way it does under Lamar Jackson because Lamar is just dynamic. Yes, I criticize his throw. I don't think he's the best thrower in the world, but he's dynamic and fun to watch. And Baltimore needs to realize they need him, and Lamar needs to realize that he needs them. So I don't think OBJ increases or decreases their Super Bowl chances. I think they're still in a dogfight in the AFC, and there are much like 7 or 8 better teams than Baltimore at this point. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I don't think they signed OBJ and OBJ signed with them because of Lamar. I don't think it has anything to do with that at all. I think Baltimore is the only team that said we'll give you a crap load of money that you haven't earned or deserved in the last few years, and he said, hey, "I want that money."
Yeah.
It could have been any team. It could have been, the Houston Texans, or it does not matter. He would have, if they offered him that much money, which, I mean, it's a lot. It was what, 23 mil for a 1 year deal.
Well, no, it was 15 million guaranteed and could be worth up to 18 million with incentives.
18 million, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. That's way more money than he would have been able to get in any other team, any other market. So I think that was the reason why he signed there. That there might be some chemistry between him and that, OBJ, when he was playing for Los Angeles in the Super Bowl game, did look like he still had something in the tank, but he couldn't stay healthy. I think is ancillary to all of that. And then all the Lamar stuff, I don't think it's any of that's impacted by this at all. I agree with you that they need to figure it out and come to the understanding that they are stuck with each other. Yeah. I'm becoming more and more a believer that collusion is going on between the other teams in the league. Just kind of reading more and more about some of the things that have been said and done, and that nobody's even like trying to have conversations with an MVP in the league. It seems a little bit more like they basically said, here, you want to go look? Absolutely, go look. By the way, all you people over here, you make sure you don't talk to our guy, or we'll talk to yours in the future, or something along those lines. Like there's a handshake deal going there.
You think it's just about quelling the guaranteed contracts?
No. I doubt it. I doubt there's collusion going. I said before there wasn't going to be a market for Lamar Jackson. People have their mind.
Wait, Jason, I was talking though. I hear all that, but it's not a matter of the market. There's never been a player like that's moved, and there's a reason why when these owners get together, they make sure that happens.
There is a reason. You think the reason why? Why would anybody? Why would I want to get on the phone as an owner and talk to somebody's mother?
You made your point on an agent. Who has moved historically ever?
What do you mean who's moved? Somebody like Lamar.
Player.
I don't think Lamar's going anywhere. I think he's staying with Baltimore.
No, that's not the point. The point is that nobody moves, and so when Baltimore says you can go talk to whoever the hell you want,
right,
and everybody says we can't hear you, it's because the owners are saying, we're not going to start this right now. We're not going to step on each other, because this ruins our ability to collectively bargain for when the Mahomes and all these other guys came out there. Then whoever the next guy is going to be. It does not happen. They do not play around with quarterbacks.
I don't look at it like that. He's just not worth the kind of control. He's just not worth the money that he thinks he's worth, or maybe you or other people think he should get. It's not collusion. He's not as good as he thinks he is.
There's never been a star quarterback move in their prime. Never once.
A star quarterback has never moved in their prime. You do know that the players agreed to this collective bargaining agreement where they can be franchise tagged, right?
I said historically. I'm not talking about this collective bargaining agreement. I'm talking about historically. It has not happened.
Okay.
The owners make sure that the one position everyone agrees you don't mess around with is the quarterback.
This is not an owner issue. The players signed it. He could have been a free agent if they didn't sign that franchise tag agreement. He would have been a free agent. He could have negotiated with anybody he wants.
Again, I'm talking about the history of the league, not one player.
I never thought Lamar was going anywhere anyway, and I never thought he was getting $200 million.
Again, talking about one player, talking about the history of the league. It has never happened.
I'm only talking about Lamar.
It's not a coincidence. Yeah, the league has been around for 75 years.
I'm only talking about Lamar. That's all I'm talking about. It's just Lamar.
I know, but you interrupted me, and I was talking about.
Oh, my bad. My fault. My fault. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, going on.
A little spice, a little paprika, a little chili flake. All right. So I don't really, honestly, I don't really care, man. I just want to see my team win more than 6 games. So whatever does that.
More than 6. That's the bar.
That's what it was last year.
What's that? 6-11? 6-11?
Win more than 7 and last year.
7-10. Okay.
The Vikings aren't picked to do much better than that.
Well, it's 8.5, right?
Yeah, they lost. Yeah.
8.5.
I think they're in the wrong direction. I think it's about to go down to 8.
Well, 9-8 can actually make the playoffs in the NFC, but we'll talk about that later, though. But 9-8 could make the playoffs in the NFC.
No, that's true.
NFC is not very great, very good.
That's New Orleans Saints going all the way. All right, so you got from that to the Masters, man. Coop, did you actually end up watching any of it?
Man, no, I just saw Tiger limping. That's all I saw,
Yeah.
and that's enough for me. It's sad for me to watch Tiger, man, because now it's like he's a spectacle. He's just like a figurehead now. Like, come watch Tiger, and
He
it's
made
like
the
the way
cut.
he looks. He did make the cut, but the way he looks, man, it's just I don't know. I'm just used to seeing the old Tiger, man, how he's like strong, fit, hitting the ball. He's not walking
Yeah.
around limping.
He's the
Now
he's
I
the
know you guys
old
watch.
Tiger now.
Yeah, I know you and Brian watched a lot more Masters than I did. So go ahead, please fill me in.
Yeah, it was
No, you're right
tournament.
though about it being sad. I mean, there was a point in time, I think, Glenn, you and I were text messaging each other where he had to hit a ball where he had one leg in the bunker.
Yeah.
And I think I got 4 texts within 30 seconds that this could be the swing that ends his career. I mean, that's how worried they were about it. Was
Oh,
a very
brother.
awkward stance
It looked
that
Yeah.
terrible.
almost
It was scary.
anyone I know, if Glenn and I were playing that one, I would have said, Glenn, move your ball and give yourself a game.
You wouldn't have told me, Jack. I'd have said we knocking that out the way. Nope.
But anyways, so it's just a problem when he almost lost his leg. He's got ankle injuries, he's got plantar fasciitis. Apparently the issue that held him out was the plantar fasciitis. It wasn't the injuries from the car accident. I actually did some looking up just to see and understand plantar fasciitis better than I already did. I've had it before. But I was curious if there's ways to fully heal plantar fasciitis. There are. Hopefully he's looking into them. But anyways, it's a bummer to see him go out there. But that didn't take away from the tournament itself.
Yeah.
I think on Friday, most of the people that I was texting with agreed that Tiger wouldn't last the weekend, even if he got for the weekend.
Yeah.
Because he was limping in the practice round on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I don't think he played in the par 3 tournament on Wednesday. So it's just the reality of it is that he's
He can play. He just can't walk. And that's what he said.
Yeah.
He can't.
And he'll
walk.
never ask for the exception.
Yeah.
He was when his Stanford teammate was the one who created the exception. He was vocal about it. I can't remember his last name. His first name was Casey. He's the one that created the exception in the PGA, and Tiger was very vocal about the fact he didn't think that there should be one. That walking was an important part of the sport and everything else.
It plays a role.
And hopefully, maybe when you get to the Legends Tour, you're also allowed to write a card. It's part of what you can do. John Daly does it. I don't know, maybe he'll decide that he wants to do that. It'd be good to watch him play real golf again.
I think John Daly has to, but yeah, got you.
Yeah, well, he's got a knee problem. I'm sure because he's got a knee problem, and quite honestly, I'm sure he's got some in his cart.
I was gonna say he got it's inebriation.
Right, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. If there was one golfer I want to hang with, like just at a bar, it would be John Daly, like a mug.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
He tells stories,
man.
And he knows how to drink and party.
Yeah, he will throw them back. Exactly.
Yeah,
keep them coming.
But when it comes to the rest of the tournament, it was a great tournament. Brooks Koepka jumped out to that early lead.
He played lead. 3 days. He played good golf for 3 whole days.
Not even good golf. Outstanding golf.
Oh man.
And Jon Rahm, who is one of the best golfers in the world right now,
stayed stable,
struggling to keep up for 3 days.
He 4-putted his first green.
Yeah, 4-putted. Yeah,
amazing. That's 4 putts on a green is. I mean, I've done it, but it takes a special level of professional to do such. You know what I mean? Like you don't see, start out like that and just stay with it, man. Just stay. That's Jon Rahm though. He just stays consistent and moves up.
And the minute he got into range, I mean, when I saw that he was part of the final group, I knew he could run him down. I didn't know Brooks would blow up.
He
like
just
that.
Disintegrated.
But when he did, I wasn't shocked. For anyone who's ever seen the Full Swing documentary, which is kind of the golf's version of the F1 documentary, it was really good. And in that, I think most people learned that Brooks is a head case, and he gets in his own head faster than any other player that's a superstar, was a superstar.
And you can see it happen. You could see it happening on the course. That's what was so crazy. Like I could see.
Yeah.
I've been there. So I knew what to look for, but I could just see him. Like you could see he was already just getting upset with bad shots, and they were just going to keep coming. And that's what happened. He just fell off the leaderboard. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think one of the things that I found interesting was the live versus PGA element.
Yeah.
And so, with Brooks, who is a live golfer, jumping out to the early lead, and then getting ran down by Koepka, only to then see Mickelson have the best round of anyone ever at his age.
At your age, Coop.
And
-7, yes, I know.
Just kidding.
I mean, like shoot a 65 any day of the Masters, but to do it on the final day is huge.
Yeah, he's balling.
He was putting like nobody's business, and his short game basically, which is what he's always been known for, was dialed in. It was fun to watch. Patrick Reed was also tied for fourth, so there was some real Cameron Young, there was some real live heat in there. I'm glad none of them won. I was rooting for Rahm in particular because of that the live versus PGA element. But it was a great tournament. They got it done on before Sunday, when this could have been the first time since 80 something that it would have gone to a Monday. The weather was wild. For those of you who didn't see the clip, go look it up. There was 3 trees. Before they called the round, there were 3 trees that fell, and some spectators had to
run for their lives.
100-foot tall
massive trees.
Massive that fell. Some people lost their little chairs. They got squished.
They got out the way though. No one was hurt.
And no one was hurt, and everyone was good. But anyways, the weather was a really big part of what was going on. Watching them play on the third round on Saturday late right before they canceled, watching them play in that weather, I don't agree that should have been done. I mean, one of the reasons that Koepka was able to get out to that lead is that he was done by the time that weather got really bad. So it was a pretty interesting element.
Yeah. Other thing I wanted to mention was a shout out to the boy Sam Bennett, man. Amateur gets out there. He was like
living the dream.
Bro was killing, like lights out for the first 3. I think he ends up in the top 10. 16th. So he was close. He fell out a couple spots out of like getting his tour card, but dude was lights out, man. Like it was cool to see the young dude get into it out there. So shout out to him as well. Amateur status was best start, tied for the best start ever by an amateur.
He was in the final group on Saturday, right? So he was in second place, solo second place on going into the third round.
Yeah, he's playing good golf. Yeah, it was cool to see. So yeah, it was a good Masters tournament. Shout out to Jon Rahm. So we'll see what happens going forward. Rory fell out and then he withdrew from RBC Heritage. I saw that too.
Oh, did he? I didn't see he so injury or humiliation?
Humiliation. Probably the second. I think he was just like, I ain't got it. And every golfer can relate. So pretty crazy. But yeah, so it was a good tournament. If you don't watch golf, there's the majors are the ones to watch because it has the most intrigue, and that's one of them. The Masters is a very well-known tournament. So it was
probably most people's favorite tournament. Other than, so people like to watch the Masters because it's one of the few majors that's played in the same course every single year. Whereas most of the other ones kind of move around for people who aren't into golf. The other one that people like watching is the U.S. Open because they make the course just impossible. And the course this year is right over by me. And I've actually got to go and play there. So it'll be interesting to watch.
They're playing Riv?
No. They're playing LA.
Oh, got it. LA Country. Okay, nice.
Right in Beverly Hills / Westwood kind of area.
And what's that course name you said again, Brian?
Which one?
The one you said that's besides the Masters, the other one.
Oh, well, no, it's the U.S. Open, but the U.S. Open goes to different courses throughout the United States. Okay. They had it at Olympic a few years ago up in San Francisco in the Bay Area. This year it's at LA Country Club, which is in LA. But what they do is they make the course as hard as you could possibly make a damn golf course.
Yeah.
And usually your winners are like +2, +3, +4. They're golfers. They just get beaten down.
Yeah.
And so we the average fan like watching professional golfers suffer.
Yeah, struggle, right?
Because it reminds us of what we would look like.
Right.
Like we go out there, we're like, oh, we could shoot 5 over or 6 over. We could not on these courses, but makes people feel like they're watching people suffer through some golf rounds.
I'm 5 over in the first 3, so I'm out. Word, but yeah, it was a good tournament, man. So Coop, it was definitely fun to watch. So yeah. It was dope to see. Had me out there on Saturday playing. I'm actually trying to walk my rounds too, so I do get it. It does add a bit to the sport. I get what Tiger's saying. Like you walk 3 to 5 miles depending on the length of the course and up and down and around. It definitely adds that athletic element.
So having played more video game golf lately, and learning which courses have a lot of up and down. And so I've always read that they say that the Masters of Augusta is one of the hardest to walk courses. Yeah. It's lots of really large ups and downs, and it's pine needles, so you're slipping and all that kind of stuff. And then having played it a couple times on the video game and seeing all the up and down there, it's a big deal. So there's other courses where it's a lot flatter. Riv is also a course that has a lot of up and down. It doesn't get credit for that. It's a little harder to walk than probably some other ones, especially the 18th hole.
Yeah, it's a
big element.
It does. It really does. So, word, man, that's our show, man. So let's get to our last couple segments. What's a bunch of hogwash, you guys? What's hella hogwash, man?
Then I don't even have a hogwash segment. I don't even have a minute to win either. Brian, you got a hogwash segment?
Sure. I think it's a bunch of hogwash that the Lakers couldn't beat the Clippers and get to the 6th seed. I think I just don't understand how they couldn't get up for that game. I understand all the reasons why they can use as an excuse. It was back-to-back games. It was the last game of a very long road trip.
Overtime.
That they just gotten LeBron back. I understand all the reasons that they can use as an excuse. I still don't understand why they couldn't find a way to get up for a really, really important game, which could have got them out of the play-in. Now, all that to say, it may have worked out in their favor because they're on the other side of the bracket. Yeah. And maybe there's some higher thought that got put in there. But that was hogwash that they just didn't show. I mean, they got the doors blown off of them right at the beginning, and then they put lipstick on the pig and tried to come back in the fourth quarter to make it look respect.
That's a good point.
I have a different perspective on that, but okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well say my perspective. So the spread was Clippers -3.5. I took the Clippers only because the Lakers played an overtime game in Utah the previous night, and their defense was horrible against Utah. They gave up 133. I mean, they should have lost that game. They ended up blowing in the end, and I guess they came back in overtime and won, but they were horrible. And so I figured they're playing the Clippers the next night. They're going to fly in late in LA, get up early for a shoot around, try to play against the Clippers, who pretty much hate the Lakers and always want to, smash them. I didn't think the Lakers would be up emotionally for that game. Now, like you said, it did work out, and I ended up taking the bad number because I bet the Clippers -3.5, and that game ended up going down to Clippers -1. So people were putting money on the Lakers, and I couldn't see why, and they all lost their money because the Clippers blew them out. But
because they would figure that two guys like AD and LeBron could get up for a really, really important game.
Oh, those are old guys. Them guys are old. Yeah, but I get it.
You could have doubled down. You could have doubled down and enjoyed a little bit more money.
No, I just yeah. I mean, I didn't want to bet against the Lakers, but I just thought the situational spot was so bad for them coming off of overtime win against Utah. I just thought it was too much to get up and play the Clippers the next day. That's the only reason I bet that game. The only reason.
So, I think you're right, though. I think like the math itself suggests that there was no way that they were going to win that game. If you look at all the systems. So I just think it's a bunch of crap that two of the two great players, every once in a while you're supposed to do shit that's not supposed to be done. And that was one of those times I was expecting AD and LeBron to do something that couldn't be done.
I get you.
Yeah. I don't I'm looking, I don't really have one either. As far as a minute to win it, as always, just appreciate y'all letting me be on the show, man. And hi, Mom. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just want Brian to close it out.
Yeah.
I was talking today with a friend of mine who listens to the show frequently, and we were talking about Kevin De Leon, who's a city council member who recently got caught making racist comments on a recorded phone call, amounting Black people to a luxury item, and a whole bunch of other racist comments, and we couldn't recall this guy. So the way the recall process works in Los Angeles for a district councilman is that the only people in the district can sign up to do the recall. You need something like 24,000, something like 20-something thousand signatures to get them on the recall ballot. We came up 10,000 short.
Damn.
61% of Caucasians said that they thought that he was racist and should be removed, but only 43% of Latinos and Latinas thought that he should be removed, and thought that his good deeds outweighed his bad deeds. This is the kind of stuff that I worry about turning into real racial tension, because when you have brown folks collectively not supporting each other in these types of situations, and opting to overlook recorded disgusting behavior, I have a real worry that this is the kind of thing that breaks up and lingers when it's a much larger than a district in an election, such as the presidential election that's going to come up, where the Latinx voters, all minority voters, but especially Latinx voters and primarily Black women, but Black voters are going to be so critical. And I get real worried when I see things that divide that voting bloc for silly reasons, like this racist piece of pile of crap, who should have gotten ran out. But anyways, so I don't know what else to say other than be aware. There's a reason why you can't get 10,000 people's signatures, because there was no money behind it, right? There was nobody when they wanted to recall Newsom. It was so easy for them to find money, for people to go door to door, say, "Can you sign this petition?" There was no money to get this guy out there, and you just got to wonder whether or not there's not more to worry about as we go into an election where, if you've looked at the polls, 6 months ago it was Biden over Trump easily, Biden neck and neck with DeSantis. The most recent Rasmussen polls, which I don't really believe too much, but they had Trump over Biden by 2 points, DeSantis over Biden by they're almost double digits.
Yeah,
it's time to worry.
Yeah.
Man, there's plenty to worry about. That's the case.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate everybody for checking us out. Sports Counterpoints podcast. Today's April the 10th, 2023. We will catch you next week. Peace.